So, like I kind of said, I'm on this spiritual journey after my awakening, and it was something, like I said, my wife and I had experienced together. She experienced something quite a bit too, and it just I've been trying to dissect it, and when I read books and such, uh, it kind of brings me deeper into um, my thinking of what had happened to us. And I just remember this saying. Somebody that I know wrote this book and said go deeper and higher. So that's kind of what I've been doing. It's the depth and the height of it, um, and it brings me to alchemy, uh, the conjunction, the joining of a masculine and feminine, and and twin flames. Because I remember experiencing certain things uh, through my awakening, through my where I started to become conscious, um, and it just reminded me as I'm reading. Uh, um, it's a Role of Alchemy in Goethe's Faust, written by Stephen Wilkerson. And it's something I kind of talked about just in my last episode, which was the DMT, pineal gland, and alchemy, because I feel like it all has a connection. There's connections in everything. Everything is connected into all, and it's called a mystical, mysterious union. It's something like that. It's something with that sense. But anyways, he does a translation of Faust, and um, how he talks about the two joining, through alchemy. It's chemically, internally. It's a emotional balance and a wholeness of the self, realizing the unconscious and the consciousness, the ego, um, and knowing that there's another part of you within that you don't realize. I feel like it's until you wake up. Um, and I just remember I was always in pain all the time, and I know I said before, and it was something that triggered my emotional reaction when I just let everything go and surrendered. My wife being asking me that question, or just telling me. Actually, I asked her the question of why was she so blue the night of my son's graduation. That next day, she just told me, and I just let it go. I let all my emotions go and everything, and it was like I said, that cup was full. It was already overfilling that night, the Friday evening, and to the next day. And when I asked her that question and her response, I just, I let it go. It just flowed. I just was bawling. I was just crying. I just didn't know. But anyways, just kind of reminds me of this experience that I had. Um, I remember her talking about through after everything we had gone through those 3 days. The 2 days was the big thing. The Saturday and Sunday. The Friday night was, um, you know, um, it was the last part I could take. And Saturday and Sunday, we did a lot, and even through that whole week, we had gone through some transition, and by the end of that week, my wife had felt like it went in, kind of transferred to both of us in a way, and mostly her, but at the end of the week, and um, it was, I remember after everything had happened, um, I just remember she had talked about this hero's journey, watching it, and I thought it was a movie. I didn't know, and she was gone, and I put it on, and it was a video. It wasn't a movie, but it was. We were just talking on there, and I remember it was really weird. Just like I was still on such a high vibration. It felt like just another, like an in between two worlds, and I just remember seeing. I don't know if it was at the end. It was this symbol where it's got like almost like a hazard symbol, but it's an X, and it was just weird. Something came over me, and it felt like I was communicating with something other than here. And as I was communicating, I was doing it through. It felt like Morse code. That's what it felt like to me. But it was through my eyes, through blinking my eyes, and through opening and closing my mouth and making noises with my teeth. And I just remember as like the night of Om, as I was rising, it felt like that. It felt like I was starting to rise again, and I had stood up on my bed, and I was against the wall, and I was looking at that, and I was just so entranced by it, and felt like I was communicating with something other than here. And I just remember, I felt like I had these wings, and I thought of them, and as I started to look to my right and to my left, I kind of envisioned them being black. And as they spread out against the wall, and I looked over to my right and then to my left, they fanned out against the wall, and they were white. And it was like I was rising up, like I was levitating, I was getting taller. And it felt like I wanted to go, but it felt like I was magnetized, like something was still keeping me here. Felt like the wall was this magnet, and my wings that I had were magnetized to it, and it wasn't releasing me from here. And so it was just like felt like I had gone through this test, through a transition period, and I had passed this test. And it's just kind of, I don't know why I brought that up, but it just, it's kind of what it reminded me of as I was reading the translation of Faust. And I just remember when I was, I don't talk about my wife so much just because it was her experience, but I know I do remember one thing, that a lot of things stuck in my mind, the similarities, but it was like she had said, like, I just remember her saying, it felt like we were twisting together and merging as one. And that's what it felt like to me too, through the process of what I went through. It felt like I had found my other half, that we had merged into one. And I remember I'm just going to talk about a few things about us as together, but I remember it was like it felt like we can read each other's minds, and we can heal people, and like we had this flame. It was this flame that I felt like we can touch it and we can light it, and it was like I didn't want it to go out. And it just reminds me of twin flames, like your other half here on this earth. It felt like a union of myself, of masculine and feminine coming together, but it also felt like I had found my other half here on earth, and that was my wife. And I think about as I was up there the night of Om, and how she felt that vibration in her legs as well, as I came back. It just, I felt like she had brought me back. Yeah, it felt like we were one. It felt like, I always tell her, I used to watch this cartoon when I was younger. It was the superheroes, and I'd always tell her, with her and I, Wonder Twin powers activate. It felt like she was my twin. It felt like we had found each other, and we had fused together, and it felt like this royal marriage is sacred. Like our marriage was sacred, and like we were gonna come home, and we were like crowned. We were crowned king and queen, and I heard trumpets. I mean, I heard, and just the vision that I had of it, these long trumpets, and the birds, and all these animals of nature were coming together. It was just, it just felt so like, so real. It felt so special. It felt like this union of two joining together as one and being equal. It was equality. It was a man and a woman, masculine, feminine. I say masculine, feminine, just coming together. Man as woman, as we know here on earth. We always have to see two different things, and to me, it's just one. Doesn't matter. It's masculine, feminine. Doesn't matter. Energy. Yeah, it was like I experienced so many different masculine, feminine, whether it be Shiva, Shakti, so like that. It didn't matter, but it was the opposite of it, is what I experienced, coming in together as one and joining as one, and learning that there's peace. And I felt like as she brought me, like I felt like how it felt like she brought me back. I felt like she's always been the light and I've been the dark, like the other half and half. And she opened my eyes to the light, to see that there is so much more here. There's just, and I think that's why I feel like, everything is one. Doesn't matter. There's things that we go through in life that bring out that darkness, but there is light at the end of the tunnel. There definitely is light. I see a lot of light now. That's all I see. Of course, I see in between, everything. I see everything. I feel like I see everything, like I feel everything. And I accept it. I accept both. It is what it is. It's just a matter of how you balance it. It's that emotional balance and wholeness, of learning of yourself, inner self. They say know thyself, and it's true. You have to know yourself. You can't be afraid of that darkness. You have to confront it, and you have to bring it up to the surface and into the light. Holding on to things, not letting it go, does a lot of damage, emotionally, physically, and as to the human body and to the anatomy within yourself, your organs, your nervous system, all the branches, everything. It affects everything when you hold everything in. You need to learn how to just let it go. It's just learning about love and joy in this world. That's what we need. We need peace. Peace, harmony, compassion, all those things. But I think it's just something that I experienced where I never had experienced before. Waking up, and all I saw was a lot of darkness, and I didn't see a difference. I didn't see there was another side until that day when I let everything go. I saw that there was something other than darkness. There was beauty. Beauty in everything. It doesn't matter. It's everything. Life is very precious. You can't hold on to grudges. And you have to learn detachment as well too. It's very hard. But I know I had to learn that through this process. I had to detach myself through some things. And it was like such a relief. I just like everything had left my body, but I had to go backwards to find out what had happened and go into the darkness through the doors with eyes wide open and confront everything and go through it and not around it. Do not avoid those situations because it eventually catches up to you. Karma is out there, and that's for sure. I know that. That's what I felt. I felt karma. But anyways, I just kind of wanted to add to what I had talked about yesterday. And just hope that, everybody can always find a balance of peace. Because there is peace. And peace is huge. It's what keeps the pendulum or the metronome from swinging within you, those forces. It creates balance, creates love, it creates learning about your soul and spirit as one. But that's it. Thanks.